And we begin by querying up politics. In 1992, Clinton said, "It's the economy, stupid." In 2024, is that still true for America and LGBTQ+? Clinton, of course, came to power in 92 because of perceptions over the economy. In 2024, we have a robust economy under President Biden. But a surprising sentiment persists among many Americans that Trump would handle economic matters better. The January jobs report reveals a healthy addition of 353,000 jobs and contributes to the narrative of a thriving labor market. With an unemployment rate of 3.7%, the economy seems to be on a steady trajectory. However, concerns linger regarding certain economic issues. Gas prices have fluctuated dramatically over the last 4 years, peaking at $5 a gallon a couple years ago. While prices have dramatically decreased, they are still higher than they were before the pandemic. Also, inflation soared to its highest levels in 40 years. That also is decreasing dramatically. These economic realities must be understood against the backdrop of the pandemic, during which almost every country in the world was hit hard. A belief that Trump's economic policies were superior is also concerning, given the current political landscape where culture wars and divisive rhetoric are on the rise. Polls this week suggest Americans think 2-1 Trump would be better for the economy. What's very surprising is Gen Z and millennials also believe Trump will be better for their economic future. In 1992, presidential candidate Bill Clinton said, "It's the economy, stupid." In America 2024, it's America, stupid. And it's frightening because people still have this perception that we're not getting better, that there's still high inflation rates. But the thing is, there hasn't been any deflation. You're still paying a lot of money for the things that you were. You're just not you're paying more than you were in 2020, but you're not paying more than you were in 2023. But that still takes a while to resonate with people.
And that's all negated by the fact that we're in a housing shortage and that the cost of rents and the essentially living for housing has gone up and hasn't come down at all, really. Mm-hmm. So we can look at those economic indicators like the price of eggs and milk, and while there might be in certain parts of the country a lowering of those, I think in South Florida they haven't really gone down, not that much. But certainly the cost of living in terms of affordable housing and rent hasn't changed at all. But another important distinction I think that's being made on this particular story is whether or not people are economic voters or social voters. And I, for the life of me, can't imagine why someone would vote for the economy, because business is not good. Capitalism is bad in that it always takes advantage of people. So I personally am always voting on social issues because that's what matters. That's what affects people. The rest of it is just going to make rich people richer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point. I mean, just coming from the ignorant society over here with my group of friends that are concerned about social issues, but also now that we're getting older, right? We're in our late 30s and our early 40s. We're starting to worry about family and we're starting to worry about, retirement. And so it's become apparent to us that as you get older, things need to start making sense financially. But who can we trust and where is the timing? And it always seems like when it comes to election time, then that is when things start to change. And I think it's a little too late now, where a lot of my friends are starting to trust the Trump route than they are the Biden route.
Does it have to be economics or our civil rights?
So I think economics is important, and I think speaking from a younger perspective also, we have to consider my generation is the first generation projected to be poorer than our parents. And so economics is an important factor to us because we are watching and it's like, there's like, what is going on? What is this shit show, for lack of a better word? And I think that's where you're seeing this disillusionment. And I think part of what we're seeing specifically around younger generations looking at Biden is we're looking at how much money we're sending off to Ukraine, how much money we're sending off to Israel, which a lot of young voters, the Israel-Palestine conflict in particular, do not support Biden's policies on. And so when we're looking at all of that money being sent abroad, but we don't have money here for healthcare, to fix our student loan crisis, to fix our roads and bridges, to put in trains, of course, that's all economic. And I think that's where, again, our generation is becoming disillusioned with the current political system.
So what do we do?
Well,
That's an excellent question.
Yeah, that's a great
and no,
question.
and it's fine that there was silence because one, it's not our job, but it's a huge question. Yeah, you know, like you said, it's housing, it's our civil rights, it's our 401k. I'm even inflating 401 my retirement plan. It's all of these things.
I have a 403b because I'm an educator, so
that's smart.
no.
But it also changes state to state, right? Like I feel like our wages are not going up, but our cost of living goes higher.
Right.
So here in the state of Florida, it's become a lot tougher to find a job to really take care of the small things, the easy things like rent and food. And so a lot of us are like you said, we're not making as much as our parents are. Where our parents bought their houses for $30,000. Well, there isn't a house here in the state of Florida or less than $600,000 that you can live comfortably in. It's really, really tough in those terms.
Yeah, unfortunately, Florida doesn't matter. Florida doesn't matter. You know, what's the cost of living in or around Detroit? What's the cost of living outside of Pittsburgh? What's the cost of living in Vegas? Oh, spoiler alert, you have better luck on the slot machines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's where it matters. No one cares how much we're paying for our rent in Florida because there's no votes to be had, and therefore there's no real promise or reason to come here.
Well, and that's going, I think, toward the answer to your question is what's there to be done. It's eliminating the two-party system and getting rid of this idea that politicians control voters. So we really need to take back our right to tell people what to do at the state and national level, and we need to get more competition of people wanting to fill those public service positions.
That makes perfect sense to me. And I think that, you know, we hear a lot about people saying, oh, if you vote third party, you're giving the election away to whoever. But I think especially in our local, state and local elections, voting third party actually makes a lot of sense and is a way to break up that two-party system. People don't realize that the majority of the laws that affect your daily life come from your state government, not from Washington. But we put all this attention on the president, on Congress, but we need to turn our attention more locally and say, okay, who are our options here? And understand they actually have a viable ability to get into office at that level.
Not an easy question. We've put out some ideas. Let us know what you think. Drop your thought in the comments section. There's nothing that we can't do if there's nothing we can do unless we solve it together. So let us know what you think. Drop it right. That doesn't look good.
Drop it like
check out my comments section.